Hi all, welcome to the session on creation of a Spring Boot application using GitHub Copilot. To get started with the coding, first of all, we need to create an empty Spring Boot applications. So for that, let us use one of the AI tool called ChatGPT to help us to create a empty Spring Boot application. So let me provide a query saying create empty Spring Boot using Spring Initializr. So Spring Initializr is a tool which helps us to create a new Spring Boot application using Gradle or Maven. So these are the steps that is providing by this ChatGPT. So basically, in the first step, it says to go to this particular website. So let me go to that website and generate a Gradle project or generate a Maven project and give the particular options and decide Spring Boot versions, dependencies, and generate the zip folder out of it. And that's it. So that's what ChatGPT says. Let us follow the same. So go to Spring Initializer. I'll click on Maven because I'll be using a Maven project. I'll be providing the Spring Boot version. I can change the group name to anything that I want. I change the artifact to stock listing. And I'll be using the Java version as 11. If your system is JDK version as 17 installed, you can use the JDK 17. For now, I'll be using a JDK 11. So I'll just generate. So it will generate a zip folder as said by the ChatGPT. So it says that it will generate a zip folder. You can just extract it and use it as a simple application. So this is the extract zip folder that has been downloaded. I can just extract it here and I can just open it in the IntelliJ. So I already opened it for the reference. So this is the application. This is the empty application that has been created as of now. So as you can see in the source, there is nothing much here. All Spring Boot application starts from something called as a pom.xml. We need to add some of the dependency that is required. So this is the empty project. Basically, this has some predefined dependency which is required. So this is all around. So as I already said that Spring Boot application will be using, will be exposing some of the endpoints. So to expose those endpoints by the Spring Boot application, we need to have one dependency called Web Starter. So let us try to get it. So I'll just write a comment in the XML file saying that I need a Web Starter dependency. Then see and close the comment. So it is already providing me the suggestion. So this is the suggestion that I just needed. So I can just click on tab, go to the next line and close the dependencies, right? So I can just click on Maven and reload project. So this will download all the dependency for the web starter for which I can expose the endpoint to the other applications. So taking a quick diversion, so as I already said, a Spring Boot application will be making a call to the third-party API. Let us see what is the third-party API that is being called. So for that, let me just open up here. So this is the first third-party API that is being called to get the stock details of a particular country. I can change this placeholder with any country name, and the second URL is this. Second API is this, where it will be getting the time series data for a particular company with the symbol. So let us try to call that endpoint using the Postman. So this is the Postman where I have tried to get the stock of a country named India. So let's send it. So this takes a moment of time and this will give me all the stock details of a particular country. For India, these are all the stock details. So this is the second API that it will be called, where I'll be able to get the time series of a data of a particular company. I can name the company as that is needed. So I'll just provide the symbol of that particular company and boom, I will be able to say get some metadata as well as the values of time series like open, close, high, and close. So this is the third-party APIs that will be called from the Spring Boot applications. So let's try to define one. So before starting with the coding or before starting with all the controller or the service layer, let us create some of the packages to segregate the code into their layers. So for that, let me create a package named controller where I'll be writing all the controller logics, and then I'll be creating a package named service where I'll be writing all the service classes that defines the business logic of the application. And then I'll be creating a package named model where I'll be creating all the model classes for the applications. So since I will be getting the data in some set of format of some set of format. Let us create a model for the same. So for that, let me go to model and just create a class named data. So I have created a class named data where the data will contains a list of stock details, right? So let me declare a variable for that. Declare a variable for, I'll just give out the output, whatever the thing that I'm getting. So I'll just copy this one thing, close and paste it. So I'll just close. And let's try if the GitLab provides me some suggestion. Yes, it's already trying to give me some suggestion because data is the name and it has the string of stock values. It's a string of objects. So it is providing me the suggestion. Let me click on tab. But here the stock details is not present, right? Let me create one more model class called stock. So what all the stock object contains? The stock object contains these details, right? Let me just control C and go to stocks. Just say declare a variable for, I'll just give out a comment and click on enter. Yes, even though it is double commented and so things. So it's trying to give me some suggestion. The GitHub Copilot is giving me some suggestion like symbol, name, currency. So based on the output it gives, so I can just tab out, tab. So it providing the suggestion for all the values here, currency. The next line, let's go to the next line, exchange, the mic code, the country, and the type. So basically, if I go to next line, it doesn't provide any suggestion because that's the output that I am giving, that I need to declare a variable for this output. So it's creating a model class for me. And the second type of output that I get from the third party API is something like this. So let me create the same for. So let me go and create a model named time series basically. So this is a time series value that I get. So I'll just say it as a time series. So in the time series, what are the different objects that I get? I get a meta object. I get something called as a array of values object. And at last, I get something called as status is equal to OK, right? So let me try to, without providing the output, let me try to define in my own comment values. So just say declare a variable named me variable meta has meta object values has values array. So basically this is the values array, right? Array of an object. And at last we have a status has string. So let me wait for the Copilot to give suggestion. Yes, no need to wait. So Copilot started giving a suggestion. So I can just tab out. The next thing is values has an array of values. Yes, it's giving the array of values as values. And the next is status as a string. Yes, it's giving the status as a string. Meta is an object and values is an object. So let me create an object class for that saying meta. And what are all the data that involves inside meta? So I can just copy this and I can just say declare variable for, go to next line and paste it the output. So let the Copilot give you the suggestion. So just tab out interval. The next will be currency. So I'm just clicking on enter and clicking on tab to accept the solution. So everything else is done by the Copilot. Change the my code type. So there is no more suggestion because that's the only variables that needs to be declared. So all the variables has been declared now. The next is we have values. So let me go and click on a new class called value. Okay, let us do this instead of values. Let us do this as value because it's a single object, right? So let me say declare a variable for declare variable or not a variable. Declare variable for this particular output that I got from the third party API. So this is the object. So let me copy this and paste it here and wait for the Copilot to give the suggestion. Yes, boom, it's giving the suggestions for us. Date time, open, I, low, close, and volume. That's great. So is there any other suggestion? No, there is no more suggestion because that's the output that I just wanted. So all the variable has been declared now. So we have the model class ready, so that the next thing is we need to write the service class which makes a call to the third party API call and get the data and store it in a variable. So for that, let me go to service class, create a new class named service, or I can just name it as stock service. Oh, XC. Let me rename it. Rename as stock service. Okay, so this is a stock service, but Spring Boot, how will the Spring Boot get to know about if this service is a service class or any other controller class or a repository class? So I need to provide something. So what to provide? Let's ask the ChatGPT for that. So let me go to the ChatGPT and just say how to specify a class has service in Spring Boot. Right. So it started providing the suggestion. It's saying that by using @service annotation, I'll be able to specify that particular class is a service class. So let me, okay, okay, let me take this uh, stop generation because it's providing the generation for everything. So that is what required. So I can just Control C and go here at the top, as it says that at the top of the service class, I need to provide this annotation. So let me go and just say Control V. It's a service class, but it is in red because I haven't imported the class. So I'll just import the class. And now by this @service annotation, the Spring Boot will be able to identify this particular class as a service class. Right. So the next thing that I need to write is a business logic where it has to make a call to the third party API to get the data, right? So for that, let me write a comment saying that I need a method to call a third party API. So let me copy the third party API, whatever we are calling. So let's copy this. Call our API this, sending country has parameter, and return has data object. Enter. So let's wait for some suggestion from the Copilot. Will it be providing any suggestions? Let's see. Um, okay, let me say public. Yes, it's trying to give the suggestion, but we didn't wait it. Okay, so it's trying to give the suggestion that it will be a return type will be data, and the name of this, and it taking the string as a country. So let me use this. Okay, let me import the class, the model class here, data, and write your code. So basically, what is the thing that I needed? Use REST template to make call to this particular API. So let me Control C and just Control V here and just enter. Let's wait and return the response as object. Yes. Okay, let me create the REST template by my own. Let's say template. Yes, it's giving me the suggestion to create the REST template object by like this. So Alt Enter and delete. Yes, it's giving me the suggestion that REST template dot get object or everything. So it's giving me the suggestion. So let me accept this. So this is how the third party API to be called. So I'm getting the data and just returning the data. So this is a suggestion that is provided by the GitHub Copilot to make a third party API call based on the country name and return the data as such. Great. So we have the business logic here written, but how do I call from the Postman or external client to the Spring Boot application? So for that, we have something called as controller layer. So let me create a controller layer for the same Java class. I'll just say it as a stock controller. Again, how do I get to know that this particular class is a stock controller? So let me go to ChatGPT and ask for the ChatGPT layer. How to specify a class has REST controller in Spring Boot. So started giving a suggestion that if you want to make a class as a REST controller, then you need to use an annotation called @REST controller. So we need to add the annotation, and it also says that it provides different sets of annotations like add the mapping, like your post mapping, put mapping, and delete mapping. So now we are interested in making that class as a REST control. So just copy this and let's go here and paste it here. Let me import the class. Boom. Fine. So next thing is I need to auto wire a service class into my controller class. So for that, let me just say auto wired service class. So it's not giving any suggestion. So at the rate, okay, it's not giving any suggestion. So no issues. Let's go to the ChatGPT and ask how to auto wire a service class in controller in Spring Boot. So it's already saying that I need to use a auto wire annotation to auto wire the service classes into the controller classes. So this is how you should do that. So this is also giving you a code. So I'll just stop generating because it's also providing some of the get mapping, post mapping, which is not required as of now. So this is what is required @annotation. So I'll just copy this, let go here and just copy paste it here. So auto wired, I'll import the class, but we have named the service class as something different. So let me delete this and let me name the actual thing. So it's a stock service. Let me import the service class here. So it's a stock service. Okay. Next is I need to expose the get endpoint to make a call from the external client. So let me just say get mapping to make a call to what is the name of the okay okay, it's already giving me the suggestion. The GitHub Copilot itself is giving a suggestion to get mapping to call a get stock by country method of stock service class. It's already giving me a suggestion. I just click on tab, enter, and wait for it and return the response as response entity. Okay, so it's providing any okay. Let me say public. Let me wait. Yes, it's giving me the suggestion response entity has the comment says that it has to return as a response entity, and just like let me tab out so that we will be able to see entirely. So response entity, it's taking the country as the path variable and it's returning the data. So let me import alt enter, import the class path variable alt enter, import the class data alt enter, import the class and https op class. So now, how will I get to know that if it is a get mapping or post mapping? So let me see if there is any suggestion from the Copilot. There might be no suggestion. Okay, let us go and check here. So if it is a get mapping, you can always see that that you have to annotate it with get mapping annotation. So let me copy this and just paste it out here. Get mapping. So let me import the class and instead of slash users, I can just say it as stock dash country. Actually, it's giving me the suggestions. Like this is the suggestion that Copilot is giving me. So just Control Z and tab out. So basically, it's saying that the endpoint has to be stock slash country because I'm taking the country as a path variable. So country is here. So let us test this endpoint if it gives me the results or not. So let me go to the main application and let's try to run the application. So it's building, compiling the entire code. So once compiled, it build up and create a Tomcat server for us. So boom, yes, the Tomcat server has been created and it is running on the port number 8080. So let's test this first controller that we have created, that is the get mapping, by going to the Postman. Just click on the new button and just say http /localhost 8080 slash what is the endpoint that is provided. This is the particular endpoint that we have. So I can just control see the endpoint, paste it here. So I need to provide the country. So this country is a placeholder now. So I can just give the country name as anything that I want. I can just give it as India, and it's a get mapping. It's a get mapping, correct? And then click on send. Okay, we are getting error called cannot find acceptable representation. That might be because in the model class we haven't created any getter or setter. So how to create a getter or setter? A simple way is to use Lombok. So for that, let me go to the pom.xml and add a new dependency. So let me provide a comment saying that I need a Lombok dependency. So let's wait for the GitHub Copilot. Yes, GitHub Copilot is already providing me the suggestion. So let me add this and close the dependency. So let me rerun or reload the project. So project has been reloaded. Let me go to the data model and let me mark this as mark getter and setter. So yes, it's giving me the suggestion for getter. Let it give the suggestion for setter, and so let me provide the suggestion for data also. So let me import the class and import the class. So this getter, setter, and data has to be provided for all the model class that has been created. So let me just control C and go to every model class and just say control V. Go to stocks. Sorry, here is it. Go to stocks, control V, go to time series, control V, and the value, control V. So everything is fine now. So let's rerun the application and try to hit the same endpoint. So now let's try to hit the same endpoint like send. So boom, I am able to get all the data for India. So let me try it with any other states. Let's say United States. Okay, United States. States. So let's send it, and we are getting back with the data with all the United States stocks. So we are done with exposing a one endpoint to get the stock details of a particular country. Same way, let's create some more services class and the controller layer to expose endpoint to get a time series data. So for that, let me go to the service class. So now let me say that I need a method. I need a method to call API, which is the third party API that we'll be using. This is the third party API. So control C, control V, taking symbol has parameter, returning has return as time series object. Yes. So let's wait for the Copilot. Yes, it's already providing me the suggestion that it is already making using the REST template, because in the first method, since we are using the REST template, in the second method also it suspects that we are using REST template. Yes, we are using REST template, making a call to this particular API, getting the data back and sending the data in the form of a time series. So let me click on tab, and it shows some red because there is we need to import the classes. That's it. So we imported the classes. The service method is ready for us. Just by providing the comment, I am ready with the service class or the business logic to call the third party API call and get back with the data. So we have the service class ready. Let us expose the endpoint in the controller class. So let me go to the control class. Let's say that I need again a get mapping to. Okay, it's already providing me the suggestion that I need a get mapping to make a call to get stock by symbol method of stock service class. So I just click on tab and enter and return the response as entity. Yes, click on tab. It's already providing me the suggestion with starting from the get mapping. So it's providing me the suggestion. So if you don't want this endpoint, then you can go to the GitHub Copilot here, refresh the page. So you will be able to get some more suggestion if there is any. So as of now, I think there is only one suggestion that is getting provided. Okay, there is some more suggestion that's already getting provided. So you can choose one among them and click on tab. So this is providing me the suggestion. Yes, it's provide me the suggestion. get stock by symbol, but we are trying to get the stock details in the form of a data. This is a small mistake, so I can just change it on time series. Stocks data. Done. I think I exposed the second endpoint also as a get mapping to get the details of a particular company, a time series data. Since the endpoint is already exposed, let us try to test it out using the Postman. So for that, since we have made some changes, let me rerun the application. Yes, the application has been rerun. So now let me test this particular endpoint. So let me control C this, the endpoint, I'll just control C. Let me go and add a new tab. Let's say localhost colon 8080. Is a port number on which my Spring Boot application is running. So I'll be using that slash the endpoint that I have. So this is the endpoint. Instead of this particular symbol, I need to replace it with other symbols of a company. So for that, I'll just use this symbol A. No, don't. And then let's go and paste it here and send. Boom. Yes, it's making a call to the localhost 8080. That is my Spring Boot application, which in return is making a call to the third party API call and getting back with the data. So I'm getting all the data that is required. I can say any other company. So I'll just say it's AA, some other company where I'll be able to get American New York, some company time series data. Okay, so let me see if it also provides me the data if I provide some random symbols, like for example, something like this. Will it provide any suggestion? Yes, there is also a company. No, there is no company regarding this RFGG. So that's the reason it's saying status as error. Great. It's also for handling the exceptions. So let me terminate this. Okay, the next two endpoint is basically adding a stock to my wish list. For that, as I already said, that I'll be using a H2 database to store my stock details or the wish list into my H2 database. So for that, let me go to the pom.xml again. Let's go and type in the command saying that I need a H2 database dependency, H2 database. So let me close the comment and go to the next line and wait for the GitHub Copilot to give the suggestion. Yes, it's giving the suggestion to import this as a dependency so that use this as a dependency so that I will be able to use the H2 database. So I click on tab, close the dependency by clicking on the enter button and click on tab. H2 database. So now I have a H2 database. I have a Spring Boot application. The next thing that is needed is to make a communication between the H2 and the Spring Boot. We need something called as JPA repository, right? So for that, again, let me add a comment saying that I need a JPA dependency. Again, Spring Copilot itself is giving a suggestion that you need a JPA dependency for this. So I'll just click on tab, new line, dependency, JPA dependency, and this. Let me Maven reload the project. So it's reloading, it's indexing all the files as it's reloaded now. So we have the H2 database now, but we need to provide some of the configurations for H2. So for that, let me go to resources, let me go to applications, and here I can write a comment saying H2 database configurations. So yes, it started to give the configurations also, H2 database configuration. So let me click on tab, go in next line. Let me say Spring, if it is giving, yes, it is also giving me some suggestion for H2 driver also. So let me use that. SA password. I can name the password as anything. It's not giving the suggestion for the password because password is an entity that we need to provide. So I'll just provide it as a simple password. And is there any suggestion? Yes, it uses H2 dialect. Is there any other suggestion? Yes, it's going on providing some suggestion for us. So let me add all those. That's it. I think that's the only suggestion that is providing. So boom, I think this is required for us for the Spring Boot application to get connected with the uh, Mr. H2 database. Fine. Okay, so we have provided the H2 database. Next thing is we will be storing the stock details. As I already said, we will be storing the stock details into my H2 database as a wish list. So for that, let me go to the stock class, and here I need to mark this as an entity class. Mark as entity class. So is there any suggestion from the Copilot? I think let's wait. There's no suggestion. Okay, fine. Let's use the another AI tool that are called ChatGPT for that. So how to specify a class as entity class for H database. So in Spring Boot, okay, I just set as H2 and entity class. So it's already providing me the suggestion that I can be using the at the rate entity and the table name. So it's already providing all the suggestions. So let me stop generating because it's also providing some. So so these are the two suggestions that is required. These are the two lines of code that is required. So I'll just copy this and go to my here and copy paste here. So entity class. So let me hover over it and import the class entity and hover over the table and import it. So basically it says name has user, the table name as user, but since I'm storing the stock, I'll just say it as a stock. Right. Okay, so imported the H2 dependency. I imported the JP repositories dependency. I made a class as an entity class. And the next thing that is required is a repository class where it makes a contact, it makes a repository layer where it makes a contact with the H2 database. So for that, let me create a new package called a repository layer. Let me add a class named, okay, let me say it as a stock repository, stock repo. This is stock repo. Again, so how do the Spring Boot application gets to know if a class is a stock repository or not, or a repository layer or not? Let us take help from ChatGPT. So let's go here. Already providing the suggestion that it says that you need to use a repository by using @repository annotation. So add the @repository annotation. And second thing it says that, okay, it's already providing the code suggestion also. So let me stop generating and you will be able to see that I should be able to use @annotation. And in the second step it also says that we have to make sure that this repository extends another JPA repository. So let me use this @repository. So control C, let me go here and just say control V. Let me import the class and then extends. It's already giving me the suggestion with the particular stock details and so on so things. So I can just tab it out and say import the class. Alt enter, import the class. That's right. So the JPA repository has been extended from the stack repo. And the next thing is in the service class. Okay, in the service class, I need to write a business logic where if I throw our stock details to it, it has to store it in a database. So for that, I think we missed something. So let's go back. While we are providing it as an annotation, as an entity class, we also have to provide this @ID, right? So we have missed it, I think. So let me go to the model class, go to the stock, and here for the symbol, I'll just say symbol has an ID. So I'll just say it as ID. Okay. So I have provided a primary key for a table also. So by providing @ID. So let me close everything. Go to the stock service. So now I need a method and return a stock object. Yes. Yes, it says public void. Okay. So I said to return it as a, okay. I think it's giving a different suggestion. I think I don't need this suggestion, might be stock object. I'll enter. I'll name the stock. I'll name the method. Let's see if it gives any suggestion. So I'll just say it as save stock to save stock. So it's giving me some suggestion, but I think this is not the correct suggestion because it's trying to make a third party API call. So let me delete this and go to next line. So it's giving a different suggestion. So let's go to GitHub Copilot, refresh it. Okay, I think this is the suggestion that it is required. Basically, it's saying stock response is equal to stock repo dot save or stock. So I'll just accept it. But we haven't auto wired the stock repo into the service class. So do we know how to auto wire? Yes, we know. I'll just write it as auto wire stock repo, private stock repo. So I need to use the @auto wire annotation here. So let me save that and import the class. So I have imported the stock repo, and here in this method it is saving the method save method to store the stock into it. So we have the business logic to store the stock data into the h2 database. So let me expose an endpoint here. So let's say it should be a post mapping to get stock has a response a request body as request body and make a call to the save stock method of service stock service class. So let me tab out so that I'll take out the suggestion response. It's giving me a get mapping, but I need a post mapping. So let me say it as a post mapping. Stocks, yes. Wait for some time. Yes, it's giving the suggestion where it says save stock, getting the data has a data object, but I need to get it as a stock object. Okay, fine. Then getting all the data. So I'll just tab out. This is a suggestion GitHub Copilot has given. So let us do some changes. So request body import the class. So instead of getting the data as an object, I need to get a stock as an object. And let me import the class, and I'll send the same to the stock data. Okay. Okay. The return type will be stock. So I'll just change it to stock only. And boom, yes, there is a endpoint to post a stock details into the database and make a call to the service class to store it into the database. Okay, not only storing, I should be able to get that stock details also, right? So for that, let me go to the stock service and write a method. Yes, it's already giving me the suggestion. So this is the suggestion that GitHub Copilot is giving. So let me type it out. So let me import the classes which is required. So hover over it and import a class Java util. So it's basically making a find all call to get the stock details in the list of stocks. So we have a endpoint, we have the business logic to get all the stock from the database. So let me expose a endpoint also. So for that, let me go and just say that means that is I need a get mapping to make a call to get all stock again. GitHub Copilot is itself helping me to write the comment also. So let me tab out and next line. Return the response as response entity. Great. Yes. Get mapping. Yes. It's already giving me the suggestion, the entire suggestion. So let me get tab out. So the return type is not similar because I am getting the list of stocks, but here it is saying it as stock. So let me say it as a list of stock. This is stock data. So let me alt enter list of stock. Boom. So I have all the APIs that is required to store the data into the database and get the data from the database. So for that, let me run the application again. Okay, so we have the 8080 running. We have the application running perfectly fine. So let me go to the Postman. Let me add a new tab. Let's say localhost 8080/India. Okay, this is to get the stock based on the country name. But next, I need a localhost 8080. It's giving me the suggestion also 8080 slash. So what is the endpoint to post the data into the database? So this is the endpoint to post the data. So I'll just say it as a stocks, control C, control V. It is a post mapping. So let me go it as a post mapping, and the body will go as a raw type as JSON. So for example, if I want to wishlist this particular stock, so I'll just copy this wishlisted dot data. I'll just copy the whole stock details and then send it as a body here. Yes, we get a 200. Okay, that means it is stored in the database. So let me add some more stocks here. So let me copy this. Let me copy the second stock also. Let me control A, control V, and just send it out. 200. Okay, let me add one more stock if for a demo purpose. So control C, control A, control V. So now we have wishlisted 3 items. So let's see if get all stocks will get me all the stocks that I have wishlisted just now. So the endpoint is slash stocks, right? So let me say it as localhost pt80 slash stocks. The get mapping, correct? And just send, and I'll be able to see 3 stocks that has been wishlisted. 1, 2, 3. So let me wishlist one United States also. United States, send. So let's say I need to wishlist a particular company. Okay, I'll just wishlist this particular company. So I make a post request in the body. I'll just say this send and get all the list. And now I will be able to see 4 stocks that has been wishlisted. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the way how we can use GitHub Copilot to create a Spring Boot application which exposes a REST endpoint and write the business logic or the repository classes and so on so things. So that's all for the session. Thank you very much.